Bada boom, bada bing. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Icon Files. We're live Monday. It's about 8:06 exactly Eastern Standard Time, and we got a great show today. I'm hoping we get a lot of people in here to interact with this and have fun with this, man. You know what? That's what it's all about. You know, this is not a battle between husband and wife. It's just us getting into the topic and expressing what a lot of us might also be going through. You know what I'm saying? So definitely just want to get this going and have fun with this. You know what I'm saying? And let Sarah talk right here. I'm going to do a quick link here for our guys in Transformers Third Party Kingdom, so everybody knows that we're live. So I'll let Sarah take off and say what she has to say.
Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? We survived the storm. We're now on to Monday. Hopefully you had a good Monday today and a fresh start of the week. So here we are with Michael, and we're going to be talking about how collecting affects your relationship. It could be any kind of relationship. It could be marriage. It could be your plus one, your fiance. So we're starting off, and hopefully we'll get some good talks.
Give everybody a little bit about your background.
Well, Michael's been collecting for 3 years, and so he's a man of hobbies, and this is one of his strongest ones yet. So my background, I was formerly a teacher for high school students in the city of Worcester, Mass. So I did that for 20 years, and then I did higher ed for about 8 to 9 years. And now I'm in a private company. I'm in the admin group in a private company. So God is good.
So today's like the title says, today's live show is going to be how has collecting affected your marriage, has affected maybe your relationship with your girlfriend, your fiance, your plus one. You know what I'm saying? It is not necessarily just marriage. I just use as a title, but it can be any kind of relationship that you're in. You know what I'm saying? How does collecting affect that relationship? And how was, before we got a whole bunch of questions that we're going to go through, and we're going to give you a little bit of background about ourselves, but let's start with the basics, Sarah. Like, how was it when you first met me? Like, let's get into that. Let's get into the roots. Like, you met me and all that. Explain a little bit about you meeting me and getting to know me those first few years.
Well, Michael loves to celebrate events, and he's all about, if it's Valentine's Day, it's Valentine's Day. If it's, it's a birthday, it's a birthday. So Michael's big on celebrations, and that was new for me because my family, we didn't celebrate birthdays. We didn't really celebrate a lot of things. So for Michael to set aside time and efforts and money for those things, that's new. What are you doing?
Come on, me. I'm just trying to take.
What are you doing?
I'm just trying to take the tracking off of this because I want to see if I can get a better look for you.
Yeah.
Did you collected anything when you before you met me?
I mean, I collected shoes. I think it's easy for girls to collect shoes. It's something that we love to do. They come in different color sizes. You have the seasons, you have your spring, summer, fall. So those are fun to do. I would say that the average girl has a few pairs of shoes in her closet. That's an easy one. I think you knew about that when you first met me. You said I had to downsize a couple of times, and that was hard. Talking about downsizing my shoe collection, that was ridiculous. So
I'm just trying to get the auto tracking on, but I think it's on. So when Sarah met me, to give you a little background before we get into it, when Sarah met me, she didn't collect anything. She didn't really have any toys. I kind of introduced her into the hobby of having a hobby.
Well, I collected shoes. I was just saying.
You were collecting shoes?
And I had to downsize twice. Remember, before we moved in together, when we married.
So the few things that I did when I married Sarah was I got into ham radio. I got my ham radio license. I got 2 of them. And I would get on my ham radio and talk around the world, try to communicate around the world. And I connected a lot. And she got into that too. You know, like she supported me big time. And we were able to, she would go downstairs and just be there doing her nails while I'm on the radio, like, you know, November 1 Alpha Papa Mike, November 1 Alpha Papa Mike, you know, trying to connect with people around the world. And she was there with that. You know what I'm saying? How was that experience for you? Like me and my ham radio?
I think you've always tried to include me. So Michael would put a little desk there for me. It was 2020, so we were still in the shutdown. I couldn't get my nails done, so he bought me a little nail polish kit so that I can like try to do my own nails at home. So that was nice. And we've always tried, definitely made the effort to spend time together. Michael does always try to create a space for me. So I think that's key when you have a hobby. As we're talking in generalizations, it's key to involve like your significant other, like create a space for them, even if they're not completely interested in your hobby, but you've created at least a tiny space where you can share with that person.
Bada boom, bada bing. All right, guys, we're going to get into some questions. Feel free to throw some questions at us, either me or Sarah. Feel free to, if you have a question about something that you're going through, let us know, and we can help you. What's up, Madison? If I'm saying it right, I was going to say Madison. What's up? Peace, bro. Back to you. Yeah, if you have questions, if you have something you want us to answer to you, something that you're going through, let us know. Or if you have a question for us, let us know. But we're going to get right into it with the questions that I already have. We're going to go back and forth and see how it goes. All right, so the first question we got is, and you guys can answer it too in the comments. How has being married to me changed your life?
Oh, I thought we were gonna go through the picture that you put up with the guy like kind of hoarding the Amazon boxes in the closet, and then
that's in the thumbnail.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's
so, I thought that was interesting because normally it's women who hide their Amazon packages before their husband gets home. But I guess my question to you,
Martinez, what's up?
My question to you: have you ever had to hide your Amazon deliveries?
But we got questions. I don't want to. I don't want to answer like 5 questions in one because I have all that. Let's answer exactly because it's all laid out. So, how has being married to me changed your life?
Of course, it's life changing. I'm part of the hobbies, and you've always created a space for me, like I mentioned before. So I appreciate that.
All right. Have you ever collected anything before?
Shoes.
And Sarah said the shoes. What kind of shoes specifically?
Oh man, any kind of shoes. The higher, well, when I was younger, the higher the better.
And what kind of shoes have I been able to bring into your life?
I think that I wish you would have told me because I would have brought in the shoe. But
You can go grab them while I'm on this.
Before we got married, I wanted a pair of shoes, and they were gorgeous. They were expensive, and those were the pairs of shoes that I wanted. And Michael decided that if I wanted those shoes, I would have them. So they were all gold plated. They're beautiful. I don't think I've worn them again since being married, right?
So Martina says, I truly believe that for you to have peace in your collection, your spouse has to accept and support it.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
It's true, because otherwise you're going to be sneaking around. You're going to be sneaking around, and sooner or later, wives have a way of sniffing things out. So.
All right, here we go. Next one. Do you really like collecting with me, or are you faking it?
No, I like collecting. It's different, but I put in as much energy and I put in my heart into it, so I'm open to it.
Martinez says, congratulations on supporting each other.
Thank you.
Thanks, Martinez, man.
Learn.
Do you think collecting makes me less of a man?
That's a man. No, that question kind of throws me out.
You know what? Because the reason is because, some people look at me like if they were to come here, me, a grown man, 47 right now, and they come here, they look at all these toys like, wow, this guy's a kid. He's acting like a baby or he's not even acting his age. You know what I'm saying?
I guess it depends who you ask, who you talk to, so I mean, I never saw my dad collecting anything, but I'm sure later on I noticed he collected hats, kangaroo hats, or that brand kangaroo. So everybody, I think, in one way or another, they will collect certain things. I think I've grown to respect the collection more after meeting with Third Party Kingdom and how passionate that group is, and I think I've looked at it in a different light. At first it is like it throws you off a little bit, especially me. I never saw anything like that, so I was like, what's going on? And it started taking over the house. I don't know if the question is there, but it started in our living room and it started taking over. So
all right. Does my collection embarrass you?
like I said, it started taking over in the living room, and that's when it started getting a bit uncomfortable for me, because then my living room was all like Transformers. So we had to have a talk about where that was going, because the collection wasn't going to stop. Like, Michael really wanted to continue collecting, and I wanted to be supportive, but I didn't quite know how to do that.
So some of the, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm not going to fake it. I'm going to tell you the way it is, because I think being honest with the viewers is 100% how people are going to connect with what can really happen. And one of the problems that I had was, Martina says, I believe everyone has a passion that not everyone will support. In the end, so long as you are happy and the one you share your space with supports it, all that matters. Amen, bro. One of the problems that I had was I felt like I didn't have a space to represent me in the house. I would always buy Sarah lots of stuff, and I still do. She has like, if you came into this house, you would know this collection room right here is me. But anywhere else you go in the house, it doesn't really show me. It doesn't even represent me. So a lot of times when I was putting stuff, buying robots, Sarah would, say like, what's the word? She would get upset, and I'm going to let us talk too, but she would like, she didn't want it in the living room. She didn't want it in the living room. And I would always say, man, but I don't have a room of myself.
I just felt it was taking over. It started on a small space, but it grabbed both walls. So then we had 2 walls of our living room, and we don't have a big home. So we have a small home. So it just did not feel, just the feel of it started changing. So we had to talk about that.
Bada boom, bada bing. So like I shared with people in the kingdom, right now we're in the collection room, right? We're in the collection room, but this used to be the sun porch. And in the wintertime, you couldn't even be in here because it was too cold. So now we have what used to be the sun porch connected with the living room. So now it's one big room. And now I have more of an area for myself, And for Sarah, because I didn't just take this whole area. Sarah has her desk over there for work, and she has a little bit of her collection in there as well.
Well, you started in the basement. That's where you started your man cave. You had that there, and that's changed over time. It had your ham radio. It had the couches. I mean, it's changed over time. Then you, I mean, Michael has had a collection of birds, extensive pigeons. I mean, you name the bird, he bred them and had them. I mean, we learned so much. We used to sell them. I mean, we started housing them downstairs. So it's been a journey.
Bada boom, bada bing. Yeah, I used to breed doves. I used to breed canaries. I used to breed finches, budgies. Yeah, I had a whole bunch of birds, dude. And when we first got this house, we had the basement as kind of like our prayer room, and we would go downstairs and pray, read the Bible. It was like a place to kind of like find peace. You know what I'm saying? But then I got into the birds, and the birds really, you know, it went out of control down there. You know what I'm saying? It was nice.
The pigeons, I think, or the doves, they breed every 6 weeks. I mean,
yeah, it was nice because you're down there and you hear the birds singing, right? So it was nice, but it was the amount of work, like you had to clean up after them, and having so many birds, it gets dirty quick, you know, so it just got crazy. It get out of control, you know what I'm saying? So, all right. Let's see. Is my collection a form of art, or is it a wasted space?
No, you've turned it into a form of art. I think when you first start something, it might be a little difficult to kind of like sort it out, but it's grown. So I believe now it's a form of art.
I'm just the camera's like so.
Doing its thing.
All right. This is interesting stuff, man. I mean, we try to get as many questions here as we can. Are you jealous of my collection?
Yeah, I mean, what I do when I have arguments with Michael, I move things around. He knows it. So I'll put something upside down. I'll not, I'll put something facing the other way because, you're going to come at me like that. Then, So, no, and not when we argue, when I'm mad, just to see whether he would be able to spot it and how long it would take him. So that's fun for me. So, if he finds out about it, great. If he doesn't, then I just kind of wait. And then who moved my stuff? And that's what I was waiting for. So.
Yo, I mean, for us who collect, right, we know exactly where our robots are, right? And I just have to take a glimpse like that, and I know right away, wait, something's off. And I'm looking around, what is it? There it is, I'm like, who the heck moved this? I know for a fact it was not there, and I'm like, Sarah, did you move my figure? And the thing is, sometimes it's like, the thing is, it takes time for me to display these robots. It's not like boom, boom, okay, boom. No, sometimes it takes me up to an hour to find the right pose for these figures, and then here comes Sarah, like rearranging it. But being. All right, next question. What was the very first item you ever collected while married?
Wow. Jeez.
You know, something you collected. The first thing you collected when you were married to me. Let me see. I don't know if you want to include like the
9 years, but
I don't know if you want to include the shoes as like a collection, but the first like toy, I guess if you want to say toy, that you started collecting, I want to say was probably the Star Wars robot I bought you from Disney. I think that's where.
I thought it was the Care Bears. You did.
Was it the Care Bears? Okay.
I started with that. So
okay.
I had like, eventually I had all of them. I have all of them now. But that was the first thing. You bought me some sets so that I had the whole collection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like these Walmart. They're really nice, actually. I like Care Bears, and yeah, they're like medium size. I got them at Walmart. They're really nice, and yeah, that's where it started for her. when did you realize collecting was a real thing to me?
I think the amount of time and money that it takes. You never really tell me how much it is unless it's like something you really wanted. So, come holidays, I would want to buy Michael something that I thought he needed, but sometimes he'd say, "Well, I really want this," and so, that's when I knew. I was like, "Okay, well, let me think about that." But the time and energy that he spends on it really would be my indication of that.
How do you feel about that? Like the amount of time I spend doing this?
I mean, I appreciate the time that you do. We've had a lot of changes recently, so I think it helps us. It helps you and it helps me. Like I mentioned last time, my dad passed away. We're taking care of my mom between my brother and my sister. And so Michael has to juggle a few things on his own. And I think he, part of his creative outlet is having his collection. I think everybody should have some kind of creative outlet, something that they're invested in. Because I think at the end of the day, it's a healthy thing. If you have all these responsibilities, all these pressures, and you should have something that's fun, that's, something that makes you happy.
Yeah, what I'll say too is collecting. There was a time, a couple of years ago, I went into a real deep depression. And collecting the Transformers really brought some joy into my life. And my brother Jen Han, if he's out there, Jen was, me and Jen we go back, my collection started with Jen, and Jen would actually send me robots, and I didn't even pay for the robots, but he would send me the robots because he knew it made me happy, and I would, sometimes I would share with Jen, like, especially when I was like, you see me now, but before I was really heavy. I was like almost 400 pounds. And I just thought, one day I went to work and I just started crying because I was like, man, I just felt like the Lord tell me, you're alive only because I'm allowing it. And I'm like, man, and I just started crying because I knew I was so unhealthy. I was out of shape. The thoughts of my son, I'm like, man, I want to grow up and see my son grow up and have kids, all that stuff. I just started, and I reached out to Jen, and I just started talking to Jen, and he was a great support to me. He's into nutrition, so he helped me too on like things like that I can do. So Jen was a really big help for me, and he really just helped me. He's just, hey Mike, you want this robot? And he shipped it. I'm shipping it out tomorrow. And it was just crazy, I
think what I'm hearing is that in your collection, you should also have mentors. You'll have mentors, people who may have been on that hobby for a little bit longer, that can guide you, that can actually motivate you, can kind of lift you up as well. So that's another good thing.
Bada boom, bada bing, man. Feel free, guys, at any time to throw some questions. I got a list here, but we can answer. And if you have something that you're going through, I got Sarah right here. She's a lady. She might understand a lot what your other counterpart, whatever, is going through, and that you might not know. All right. Has collecting ever caused financial tension in your marriage?
I'm sure it has, yeah, because when Michael started the collection, I don't think he wanted to tell me probably what he was buying. He didn't feel comfortable telling me how much the things he was buying cost. He still doesn't really talk about it. I just see them come in, but we do have an agreement on certain things. You have to have some kind of agreement as to who's going to cover what in the house. I think that's important. As the head of the house, it's important that you have good priorities. Your family's counting on you, your children are counting on you. So yeah, you have to have those conversations, as uncomfortable as they may be, especially during the holidays, especially Valentine's
What's
Day.
up, Trevor?
If you got a new toy and you didn't take out your significant other, that's going to cause tension because it's almost going to feel like that hobby's taking over, you know, hijacking your significant other or your space, your time. Yeah, you got to try if you can balance that out.
So, yo, what's up, Trevor? Thanks for being on the show, man. Feel free to send some questions if you want. Yeah, guys, you know, definitely there's been times where there's been financial difficulties, you know what I'm saying? There was a time, and it's important for me to say this because there was a time where I couldn't talk to Sarah, you know? There was a time where I was keeping a lot of what I was doing in the shadow, you know, because I didn't feel like she understood my hobby. I didn't feel like she understood how important it was to me and how much happiness it was actually doing for me. Because a lot of and a lot of times when I'm sitting in this room, I'm looking around and I really see a reflection of my childhood. You know, I see myself as a little kid in this room, and it just makes me, it allows me to remember good memories, you know. And sometimes when I'm having a bad day, I just come here and sit down and just kind of reflect. And it just brings me good memories, you know, of times that passed, you know. And, you know, a lot of where we are today is because of a lot of trial and error. Okay. A lot of battles, you know, we're not perfect. And me, a lot of good mentors. Christopher Horton is one of them. Definitely. Yeah, you know, we've had lots of battles and lots of stuff like, a lot of stuff like, to give you an example, if I needed money, she would like, you know, what do you want the money for? Like, it felt like, for me, it felt like an interrogation where when she needs money, I just give it to her. You know, I'm like, here you go. If I have it, she knows. And she I'm not making it up. Like, if I got $20 and she needs $20, I'll give her the $20. Like, I'm like that, you know, if you need it, take it. You know, I'm a very generous person. A lot of you guys who interact with me know that. I want to make her happy. You know, I want to see her smile because when she smiles, it makes me feel good, you know, but Space Punch Mike. Yo, what's up, Larry? Oh my God. Larry's my friend from high school. I haven't seen Larry in a long time, and he moved to Maine. Yo, Larry, I'm so happy to see you here, bro. Oh my God, dude. What an awesome surprise. Larry is in the house. This is my wife, Sarah, Larry. Yeah, but, you know, we had that, you know, we've had those tensions. I've had those moments where I felt like I had to defend my collection because it's like the only spot that I can express myself, you know? And I've always tried, no matter what I'm doing, I've always tried to include my wife into it. The cool thing is, before Transformers, I was collecting statues. And I don't think Sarah was really into the statues.
Yamato, we went through the Yamato phase.
Yeah, but that was after the statues. The first thing, though, was statues. And then the statues, like I said before, they're huge. So they take a lot of space. And when I started getting into Transformers, the masterpiece stuff, I really started seeing Sarah come along. Like, I remember one day she's like, wow, okay, now this I like. She said, now this I like. But remember, it was the beginning. It was the beginning. It wasn't like this. This I liked. There was a few. You know what I'm saying? But
and some I didn't like. You know, they look horrific. They, you know, I would say, who gave you that? Oh, well, so and so gave me that, and I'm like, oh,
what,
God.
Transformer wise?
Yeah,
like what?
I mean, you know, that guy up there.
Which one?
The yellow guy.
Unicron.
Yeah, I'm all, you know.
She doesn't like Unicron.
You know, or what's the guy in the blue?
This one?
Yeah.
That's Primus. That's the Autobot, like God.
Okay. Well, there's some that I'm just like, what's in here, you know? And then that guy.
The Roe Beast, Voltron.
Yeah, we're all done with that one eye. But yeah, some other ones I really like and enjoy, and I let them know, and it evens out.
All right, next question. How do you decide what's too expensive to bring home? That's more like a question for me.
That's you.
How do you decide what's too expensive to bring home? I think the best way for me to do that is, how would this item really make a struggle? You know, a couple of years ago, I took a loan out, and I told Sarah too, and I was honest with Sarah. Yo, Sarah, I got a loan. I'm gonna pay the bills, but I'm gonna buy everything that I had to sell. You know, so I was honest. I was like, you know, I took advantage of stuff that I would normally never be able to buy myself. You know, because it's hard, paycheck to paycheck, paying bills and having enough money to buy something. So I took advantage of that to buy stuff, but at the same time, I also shared that with my wife. You know, I told her, hey, whenever you need something, just take it out, you know, just let me know so I can know what's in there. So I didn't just me, I shared that, you know, and I feel like that's very important for me to share what I have with my better half. You know what I'm saying? You have anything to add to that?
No, I definitely know that you made the attempt to do that, and I appreciate you making, you know, the attempt to share your space, share your time, share your money.
Number 13. Who controls the space where the collection lives?
Michael does.
So that's kind of a little bit of probably both, because when I had it in the living room, I know she really wasn't fond of it, you know. And you know, given Sarah, like, she wants to decorate, she likes to decorate rooms, and having so many robots just, I guess, wasn't really giving her that ability to follow through her vision of that room, you know, because that's the only area that I had to display my collection, you know. So that was tough at that time, you know. It was tough, but I try to keep my collection. Now my collection is only here. This is where I leave it, you know. Let's see. Have you ever had a disagreement specifically because of collecting?
I can't remember if we have. I can't remember. I'm sure we've discussed it, but
yeah, we've had lots of discussions about collecting. You know, a lot of it is like, definitely when it comes to financial difficulties, you know, that's when there's stuff like, oh, I didn't see this robot before. When did you get this? You know, where do you get that? How much do you pay for this? You know, all those things start bubbling up, you know, and that's where the disagreements come in. Because for me, I'd be like, you know, this is what I do. This is what makes me happy. You know, I'm not spending my money on beer or drinks or drugs or anything. This is what I'm spending it on, you know. And I used to kind of like I used to try to let Sarah understand that, look, like, you buy your own things, you know, you're buying clothing, you're buying shoes and stuff, right? But that's something that you like, but this is something that I like. This is how I'm choosing to spend my money. You know, you spend your money that way, and that's great. You like it. This is the way I choose to spend my money, you know? So we've had those discussions before.
Well, clarification, I have to buy clothing and shoes because I have a certain job that I have to look a certain way. If I didn't, I would not mind. But sometimes when you're in a space where you're in administration, you're in higher ed, you're teaching, you have to you have to. You can't just go in there looking rough like that.
Has collecting taught you anything about patience or balance in marriage?
I think you should answer.
Has collecting taught you anything about patience and balance in marriage? Yeah, for me, because it's tough, man, especially being part of Third Party Kingdom when everybody every day is showing you, hey, I got this in today, and I can't buy it, you know, like, there's lots of times that there's so many robots that I want and I just can't afford it, you know. And so that's where patience comes in, because you got to be patient. For me, I'm selective because my space is not huge. I can't use my entire house for my collection. I can only use what's here. and so I have to be very specific when I'm buying to make sure I can fit what I want in here. But I've kind of minimized my Transformer collection only because I want to be able to express more of my childhood, which means my Sesame Street collection, my Space Battleship Yamato, stuff like that. If I had nothing but Transformers, then that's an area of my life that I couldn't express, you know? So that's something that I wanted to do as well. Let's see here. Has your spouse ever supported your collection in a way that surprised you? Yeah. I think it was actually last year. I want to say my Sarah, you know, she bought me she's the one who bought me Primus, the one she hates. She's the one who bought me that. She bought me the X-Transbot collection of sweeps. You know, she bought me that. I got a whole bunch of, you know, this stuff that have her name on it that she bought me. So she surprised me in that way because Sarah's not really one to buy me something that I collect. She's more like, hey, I bought you a shirt or a sweater, or like, okay, you know, or here's, you know, I bought you a cologne. Okay, you know. But that was like probably the first time that she started buying me something that was for my collection. And so that was really special to me. And my last birthday, she bought me the Voltron sword that I showed before. She's the one who bought me that. And that was an expensive piece, you know. So I was really blown away by the support in that way. Excuse me. Does your spouse help you hunt for items or go to conventions with you? We were gonna go to the convention last year. I did tell her about it, and she was 100% for it. But we just happened to go on the cruise instead. If it wasn't for the cruise, we would have been there. But now that I got the Icon Files going, I think that's really a goal of mine, to be there at one of these conventions, just to represent the Icon Files there at a big place where everybody, you know, it's nothing but Transformers and stuff, you know.
I think we've come to the point where the whole family would enjoy that, I think.
Yeah, Sarah loves to bring the whole entire family on these trips. And sometimes I like to just go, me and her, and that's it.
Seth knows a lot about Transformers.
Seth is good, and one of these days they're gonna have to do a live. Seth knows a lot of these Transformers. He's only 6 years old. Larry says, "You guys are so beautiful. It's great listening to you talk about life. You should be very proud of each other. The struggles are real for so many of us. Great discussions, guys. Thank you, Larry, man. I love you. Thank you so much, man. I'm so happy. I'm so psyched that you're here, bro." I'm always telling, hey, Larry, did you like my page? Did you see my video? Now I know, yo, he's there, you know. It's awesome, man. Larry's I reconnected with Larry because I talked to one of our friends from high school, and hey, have you seen Larry? Had to talk to him. Yeah, he lives in Maine, and it was Matt Colby got me the information on how to connect with Larry. And when I finally reached out to him, dude, it was a hard phone call for me because I missed him so much, and I was like literally breaking down, ready to cry on that phone. He's just a really good friend. So yeah, let me stop talking before I start crying here now. All right. Has collecting become something you share together?
Yeah, we share together. I mean, I'll look at his collection. I'll listen to him. We watch a lot of the movies. Yeah, it's become something that we talk about often.
It's cool, guys, because when I got into Transformers, Sarah started watching the cartoons with me, the G1 cartoons, and it was a lot of fun because we would watch them and she would just start laughing, you know, because of the dialogue. Starscream is her favorite. Starscream, she loves Starscream's dialogue.
And then he does all these puns. There's all these lines and all these puns, and it's just like, it's great. Whoever was writing that did a great job.
Yeah, I love the dialogue. We have a lot of fun watching it. We do. Um, let's see. Do you think collecting has strengthened or strained your marriage? Um, a little bit of both. A little bit of both, because in the past it was definitely a strain, but now I feel like Sarah, and I'll let her talk, but I feel like Sarah is a collector herself now. Not just me, but she loves Star Wars. She's a big Star Wars fan. She has, you haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna have to do a show, but she has her collection. She has her Star Wars. She has her Care Bears upstairs. She has her own Transformers. She has a few Legend scales upstairs, and she's got her first masterpiece RC upstairs. So, yeah.
Like I said, Michael always includes me. He helps me start my collection. I think that if you have a spouse, a significant other plus one, and you're collecting, and you see something that they grew up with, that they love, and you start them up on a small collection, I think that's really meaningful. I think that's why that's Michael's saving grace. Just some things to keep in mind as you're collecting. Take some note about what your significant other really is into, and maybe do a little startup with them and have them experience what you're experiencing, the joy of collecting, the joy of having that with you. So
If you could give advice to married collectors, what would it be?
oh geez, I think I was talking about it earlier. Just include them. If you can include them, you're going to the convention. Take that person that you love. Share some of that joy with them. Share some of that energy, that live energy with them. If they haven't had a collection before, they just don't have one. You notice they're into something. Why not? If you can do it, why not start them off small and include them? I think the biggest thing the biggest takeaway that I could give you is include them.
Yeah, definitely. I would say, don't spend what you don't have. Don't spend what you don't have. And I know a lot of times it's a temptation. You see something, you want it, but really the way I do things now is either I sell a robot to get something, I trade for it, or I try to manage something small that I can buy, because I got to draw, we got the mortgage, we got all these things that we got to do. So usually one check of the month is where I can buy something, because the other one is all going to bills. So I try now, that's very important. Don't spend what you don't have, don't spend what you don't have. And me and Sarah had made a goal to make a savings for each other where we can invest into that savings. And it's something that if we need something, we can take from that savings, no matter what it is, but we can, it's there for us to use. And that's a goal that we are trying to reach there and get that into, going. What's one item in your collection your spouse secretly likes?
In my collection, I don't know about that. I don't know.
In my collection, what's
that
one
I
item in here that maybe you like that I don't know about?
I try to tell you, but I like all of the cassettes.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I think they're cool because they transform. I think they transform into a couple of things. I like I don't know how to say it, but the double transformers too.
The double?
They transform like into more than one thing.
Oh, the triple changers.
Yeah.
Like Blitzwing turns into a tank, an airplane, and a robot.
I think that's.
We got Octane up there next to Trypticon, turns into an aircraft, an airliner, a semi, and a robot.
Yeah.
One item that I like in Sarah's collection, and actually this now she has she's got a few things that I like now. One is definitely her Star Wars Bitty Pop collection. I I really think it's really cool. It just looks amazing. Like I said, I got to do a video to show you guys, but I really like that. I really do like her Care Bears section because I do like Care Bears, and I like the fact that they're really well made. They're not just like crappy stuff. They're really well made, and I like her Star Wars, the robots that we got from when we went to Disneyland, Disney World. So she's got a few cool things that I really like, actually. So that's pretty cool that I'm able to say that. If your spouse had to sell one item, which would hurt the most? So what's one item if you had to sell you think would hurt me the most?
I don't know them well enough. I would have to ask him which is his most prized possession in here. You would have to point to it.
I know. For me, it would be the Dinobots.
Okay, where are they?
Behind us, the big ones right there in the middle. The Dinobots.
Okay.
There.
Okay.
Yeah, the Dinobots would hurt me the most because they're the most expensive robot I have in my collection, because I got them as a whole, as a group. And there's probably no way I would have been able to buy them on my own. I bought them when I got my loan, and I was like saying, you know what, this is the only time I'm gonna be able to do this. If I don't do it, I'm never gonna get it. And that's why for me, I feel like that's my prized possession in my collection is the Dinobots. And I really like them. They're really cool. They bugged out. Let's see. What was your partner's first reaction when they realized this wasn't a few toys?
Well, do you really want to know? I was not happy. I was unhappy because I kept seeing shelves and more shelves inside the living room, and my wall space, the family pictures came down, the robots were up, so it was just, we had to have that conversation where I was like, oh, you just said it was, just one wall, and now we have, two, and we're turning the corner. And we had all these mountings, right? So just the vibe of the living room. If you're female, you understand, you want to, after a long day, for females, to me, the aesthetics, like the colors, just it's nice when you come home and it's just a certain way. And I wasn't getting the vibe from the action figures in there. So it was just not mixing.
Did your spouse think this was a phase and realize it was a lifestyle? You thought, oh, this is just a phase. He's gonna.
Well, we've been through a lot of hobbies. You have to admit, in 9 years, we've been through a lot of hobbies. And I guess the cool part about that is that, well, we are well versed in it, because what Michael does, he immerses himself in these hobbies. Like, he's all in. He's, 100%. He gives his hobbies 110%. I didn't know how long this phase of this particular hobby would last. So it's lasted how long now? 3 years?
I want to say 4.
I think it's 4. Okay. So it's the longest, and hopefully, and it brings him a lot of joy. And I think just being part of Third Party Kingdom just really made that come to life for him. I think being part of a bigger group where you can share and talk and just be excited about something you collect just makes it that much more meaningful.
Yeah, I think being part of the kingdom was really cool to finally find people that I can relate to. Because before that, I would try to relate to my wife. Hey, babe, look at this. Look at my robot. I'm like, oh, okay. But my son loves it. My son loves my robots, and he's really good. Where he comes in from school and he'll know that's a new one. He'll know right away. But when I first met Jen on Facebook, and that's how I started into the Transformers, and then Christopher went live, and it was just God meant to be for me to meet Chris, and Chris and Carrie Stringfellow's vision of Transformers: Third Party Kingdom really changed not only me. It's also changed Sarah's life, because Chris has been a big part of our life and our marriage, and our family.
He's a role model.
Yeah.
He's definitely a role model that, it's not just about robot, but in faith and in actions. And we appreciate that as a couple. We really do appreciate that. So
I like the fact that there's a lot of us in the kingdom that I'm always saying, sometimes when I'm posting, it is better to give than to receive. I always like to express God through me. I always like to walk like Jesus, and so how is that possible, right? Well, that verse right there is better to give than receive. I've had robots that I've been waiting for months to come in, and the minute I do an unboxing, I give it away, because I just feel like God is telling me, give it to this person. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm giving it to this person, and because I'm a generous person, I love to give to people. It brings me happiness to give to people. I'm a person that loves to see the reaction when I give to somebody, because that reaction is a gift to me, So when I give my wife a gift and she's smiling, that's my gift. I feel happy, and it makes me happy that I did something good for somebody. I was able to change somebody's mood from maybe negative to a positive. And so I like the fact that there's a lot of that going in the kingdom. There's a lot of people helping other people. There's a lot of people sending gifts to people, all that kind of stuff. And so the kingdom is definitely a place like no other, and I'm proud to be a part of that. Let's see. Did I do this one? How much space does your collection take up, and how much space does your spouse think it should take? She like that one.
Wow. I mean, honestly, if I had this section over here, would be a couple of couches, like some lounge chairs, something to relax in. But I understand Michael needs to have his space. I mean, he's moved around a bit, so it went from the basement up to here. So I'm like, okay, well, wait a minute, what's happening? So I think it's good. I mean, it's good where it's at. It's kind of tight if I want to come and visit Michael and sit next to him. I can't just come in because there's things that are in the shelves. But I think I'm much more comfortable now from where it's at right here. If it leaves this area right here, then we might have to do another show on this. But so far, so good.
What was there ever a purchase you waited to mention? That's more like for me. Yeah, definitely. Like I said in the beginning when I started doing this, I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel safe revealing my passion to Sarah, because I felt like she just didn't understand. There was a lot of times where it was battle.
No hiding it, though. There was no You couldn't really hide it, though.
I just wouldn't say anything. I would just grab the boxes,
Hope for the best.
grab the boxes, unbox them, and bring the boxes downstairs fast. And then I would display them. And so she wouldn't see no boxes, she was just maybe 3 months later. Hey, I didn't see this. Oh, that's been there for 3 months.
I just didn't say anything, but I knew they were there. I knew you were recording boxes.
So there was a time, but again, guys, I think the important thing is we're not there anymore. We're not there anymore. I feel safe with my wife. I'm happy to show her my collection. Like, she helped me display my Sesame Street collection. She loves my Sesame Street collection. I think it's amazing. It's a wonderful part of my childhood that I don't want to forget. I love Sesame Street. I got lots of good memories of Sesame, me and Bert. And to be able to have a little section for Sesame Street is awesome feeling, man. I don't know about you guys, but like I said, sometimes I sit in this chair, I look at my Sesame figures, and I think back when I was 7 years old. You know, if something's able to connect you to good memories, then that's something good. You know, that's something really good. And I'm able to share that joy, those memories with my wife, because she might not even know about it, you know. And I told her many stories about my Sesame's collection, and like, wow, she didn't know about it, you know. And it's just a good feeling to be able to express that, you know, because there's that child in us that what we do today is because of that child. You know, if we didn't have a good childhood, we wouldn't be doing this. We'd be doing something else, you know. But these things that we collect, our hobby, is what brings us joy. You know, I'm sure a lot of you, like me, if you're having a bad day, you just surround yourself with those memories, the things that bring you happiness, you know. So definitely. What does collecting these toys give you emotionally that your partner had to learn to understand? And I think I just answered that. Like, again, these things make me happy. None of these possessions are going to bring me the joy that my wife brings me, you know. My wife is my ultimate blessing, you know what I'm saying? If God didn't bless me with my wife, I'd be alone, probably, you know. And marriage is tough. Marriage, there's a lot of patience that needs to be involved. There's a lot of listening that needs to be involved. There's a lot of battles, but because of the battles is how you learn and grow, right? I'm a guy that loves to be around my wife. I'm not one of those guys that like, yes, my wife is gone. Yes. No, I like having my wife around, you know, and being honest, we've had these battles the last few days. We've had battles because I'm like, dude, I don't even see you, you know, and that's being honest with you guys. I want to see my wife.
Well, because I'm working 2 jobs, so
I want to see my wife, you know, sometimes. So Sarah works till like 4:30, and right after that she'll go straight to her mom's, which she helps take care of. But then she won't come home till probably like late 8, 9, you know.
The goal is I have a second job where we do PCA, which is a personal care assistant. And so that's 14 hours a week. So, you know, you add that to the 40, you know, it's 54 hours a week. It's a considerable amount, especially right after work. I try to do it right after work so that I'm home early, but it does take a toll. So, yeah, it's hard.
So, yeah, you know,
it's hard being away as much as, you know, you would like your spouse at home as well. It's hard being away, like on the other side of that conversation. It's also hard.
I think it's a big compliment for me to say that I like having my wife around. You know what I'm saying? Because there's probably a lot of guys that don't want to be around their wife, unfortunately. And I think if you don't want to be around your wife, then you're married with the wrong person. Let's see here. Has your spouse ever defended your collection to someone else? I don't know. Has she?
I haven't had to. You know, I haven't had to yet, so.
Well, she hasn't had to. So if the opportunity arose, would you? Would you, like, if someone came in, oh, why does your husband collect toys? That's so childish. What would you say? You know, what would you say to that person?
We all collect something, whether it's rocks from different places, whether it's sand, whether it's, I don't know. We all collect something and we enjoy it, so that's my goal.
I'd be like, you know what? It makes my husband happy, and that's all that you need to know. That's all you need to know. It makes my husband happy, and when he's happy, I'm happy. Anything else? Let's see. Did your partner ever connect to a character like Optimus Prime, Voltron, or Sesame Street figure? Yeah, she connects to Starscream. You know, she loves Starscream, dude.
He's such a trash
You know,
talker. I love it.
she, you know, he's a trash talker, and I think Sarah gets a little bit of that from him. You know, I don't know.
What? He's just funny. He has the best lines, I think.
Is he like the only one that you know that you
That
connect with?
stands out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that
stands
stands out because I'm like, what's going on there? You know, that's what first caught my attention in the dialogue. So, yeah.
Let's see here. Which item does your spouse hate? Well, she already connect. She doesn't like Unicron. She doesn't like Primus.
Yeah, the demonic ones, the demonic looking.
They
ones.
do not look demonic. Oh my god, dude. They do not look demonic.
So, that's another show.
Bada boom, bada bing. So these are the questions that chat gave me before I, give it a Sarah, and we'll maybe discuss anything we haven't. Is there anything in the comments that you guys want to ask us or anything like that? Put in the comments.
I guess you've been supportive of my hobby and in working out and taking better care of myself. Michael will get me the equipment that I need in order to get that done. I think being healthy is important. I have my health coach and I've made a lot of progress, so he'll get me things that I need to get my workouts done. So I appreciate that and that support. And when I have to do my workouts, he'll take Seth and reel him in, and those are things that are important when you support each other.
What can you tell them about me as a husband? We talked about all these collections, all this stuff. Is there what else can you tell the viewers about me that we haven't covered, if anything?
I mean, I don't know what have we not covered. We covered a lot. I think that it is nice to be able to share that with others and the dynamics of what it's like to collect, in light of your spouse, in light of the person that you see every day, that you love, that you're sharing your life with. Like, how does that look like with your spouse? And like I mentioned, a couple of nuggets that we've learned is to just be inclusive of that person. Share your time, share your space, share your passion with them as well.
Bada boom, bada bing. Like I said, reflecting on everything that we've gone through. We've been married for 8 years, going on 9 years. This year, and next year will be 10. We plan to go on our 10th anniversary cruise. I already booked it. I just got to pay it off. We've come a long way, guys. We've come a long way. In the very beginning of our marriage, I didn't feel like I was part of the family. There was a lot of just, things that we had to get squared off, worked out, and
well, we're a blended family. I was a single mom, and Michael married into that. So it was a lot of adjustments to make. And it's not easy, but
you know what I'm saying? Like, now the camera's like down. What's up with this camera? Bada boom, bada bing.
Excuse me, camera.
But yeah, we've gone through a lot, man. A lot of tough times, but if you don't have tough times, you're never gonna grow. You're never gonna know what you're capable of if you don't have nothing to compare it to. If nothing goes wrong in your life, you can't adapt and become stronger. You know what I'm saying? You have no battles, no struggles to overcome. And, we've had our shares, but, I love my wife. We have, we have a lot of fun together. When we're able to spend time together, we have a lot of fun together. We laugh a lot. You know, having her on the shows with me, I feel like brings the better part of me out. I'm able to joke around because I have somebody to joke around with, you know. It just makes me feel better, makes me feel happier, and I definitely appreciate everything that she's supported me with. Definitely appreciate her being there for me, and definitely look forward to more adventures with my wife, you know. Is there anything we haven't covered? Sarah's like, no, dude, the checkered flag is waving, dude. We're done. You know what I'm saying? Yo,
We want to be mindful. People gotta go to work tomorrow.
we're gonna be mindful. We're at an hour and 5 minutes, so
Appreciate you.
we did pretty good. You know, usually I think that's usually the average for me is like an hour. So I think it was good, man. You know, feel free, like, again, even though we're finished with the live, feel free to throw your comments in the, you know, like and follow us. Hit the bell, subscribe to the Icon Files. It really helps us out. I'm working hard to improve the channel. Anything you guys think I should do to improve it, let me know. But yeah, spread the word, get people in here. You know, check out the Icon Files, subscribe. Like I said, I'm trying to get my subscribers up there. I appreciate everybody who was part of the show today. You guys mean a lot to me. You guys take the time to go on my show, and it helps. You know, it really does. It's like it allows me not to be alone. You know, it allows me to at least interact with somebody. So I appreciate everybody who's here and interacting with me, and always feel free to like leave a comment on what would you guys like to see me do next show. You know, I'm always trying to think of things to do. It's not always about toys. As we get into discussions as well, you know. So just let me know if you want to be a guest on the show. Let me know. You know, hey, I want to be on your show. Let me know. You know, we can get you on the show and we can talk about something. You know, so bada boom, bada bing, guys. With that being said, you know, this is Monday's live show. How does collecting affect your marriage? You know, and we dropped it down. We covered a lot of stuff here. A lot of good feedback.
A couple of nuggets, a couple of things we've learned along the way that we wanted to share with everybody.
Bada boom, bada bing. You want to close it off, babe?
Thank you for having us. Thank you for being with us during this time and participating. We hope that you have a great night and a great week up ahead.
Bada boom, say it.
Bada bing.
Bada boom, bada bing.
Colorín colorado.